So, part of my role, just like you with emerging technologies, I
Yep.
have to also look at emerging technologies outside of what we're doing. So we do a lot of work with startups. So I go to Palo Alto quite a lot,
Yep.
Haifa, Cambridge, etc. What I'm finding is there's, particularly in health, right? You've got a $3 trillion industry. They're all looking to disrupt it in some fashion, shape, or form.
Yeah.
The problem is you'll get a lot of people. The first question I ask them, two questions, if they're US based, have you heard of HIPAA? And as soon as they say no, I know I'm going to be in trouble, right? What do you mean
Of
I
course.
can't collect that data? Well, it's illegal, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. The other thing is it scalable?
Yeah.
Because it's okay to do it for 10 people on a phone,
Yep.
but can you do it for millions? And how are you going to do it? What infrastructure do you have? And the last bit is what I find is the startup's urgency is never the big brand's urgency.
No.
So how do you match the cultures to ensure that the startup understands that if you're going to go engage with this brand, it's not going to be weeks, it's going to be maybe months or even a year or two before you see a result of some sort. Those are
Absolutely.
the three things we sort of work on. Well, what do you guys look at when you're doing stuff?
Yeah, so I do a lot of engagement and work a lot in the startup community, and I think you made a point about startups where it comes to data and HIPAA. And what I've seen is that startups are becoming smarter in how nimble they are. So they might not necessarily need to collect data in order to provide value. So I think with augmented reality, mixed reality, you see a lot of startups going into the space of helping to educate the next generation of doctors because they can take all of this information and just modernize or put it into an emerging technology context. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be patient information, but something that is going to be driving innovation within the healthcare space. And they can avoid a lot of the regulation, especially in places like the United States, around selling to a healthcare system. So that's something that I think I'm pretty excited about. You mentioned augmented reality and mixed reality, and I think that that's a space that is going to really disrupt the way that we engage with our providers. While voice is something that will be integral into that experience, I think that mixed reality, because healthcare is such a personal thing, it's going to be a really great way for people to build that empathy and be able to really help understand, or even just to show a young kid, this is what your shoulder looks like and it's broken, but it'll heal and it's going to be okay. And it can show the progression of what the healing looks like. I think that those type of experiences are going to be incredibly powerful. And for creatives, when you think about that, that opens up a completely new channel where people are going to be interacting with both voice and gesture, as well as being able to see things. So it provides tons of outlet for creative freedom in that space. Mixed reality is something I think I'm really excited about, and seeing startups innovate there has been really fascinating.
I totally agree with you. I think if you look at the devices, right, iOS has AR kit now
Yeah.
standard. Android has kit standard for AR.
Yep.
So you'll soon be able to go into a chemist or a pharmacy, hold your phone up over a product and be able to maybe get some voiceover that tells you about the medicine, how to take it,
Yep.
what not to do,
How to apply it.
how to apply it, all of those things, which I think will absolutely change the way we interact with things.
For sure.
For the brands, I think it's an enormous opportunity because you can take your expert and make them live
Yeah.
on a product at the point of sale,
Yep.
right? So completely different way of doing things.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I call it the where you might have a knowledge expert that is siloed and centralized. You decentralize that knowledge, where all of a sudden everyone can interact with. It could be the world's best oncologist. All of a
right.
sudden, they're helping other people be able to see what they see and spot what they spot.
Yeah.
And so that democratization and decentralization of information through things like mixed reality is going to be incredibly powerful.